I don't know what pranks we did. It was just, you know, kidding around. It was a pretty serious ship. We got the work done, you know. We were home. We were done by 7:30 in the evening. When shows like ER, we'd get out at 2 in the morning. We did our work. Of course, we didn't have a lot of locations. We did one location. It was an outdoor location. They put some sand in the parking lot, took the cameras out, and shot Peter Jurasik as Londo like this, and he's looking up as the shadows fleet are flying over Centauri. That was a big outdoor location for Babylon 5. We traveled whole inches for that shot. And Peter was the only one in it. But no, otherwise we were in an old hot tub factory named Aquatech, reconverted into a sound stage, still working, and we never took the sign off in front, so no one ever really knew where we shot this. This thing was up in the industrial area up in the San Fernando Valley, Sun Valley it's called, and you never knew where it was. And so when we'd get a guest star, someone would come. Because we weren't on a studio set, you didn't feel like you were part of the business. Because normally when you're in a big studio, if we would have been at Warner Brothers, which was our distributor and everything, we would have been at the Warner's lot. We'd have seen people in the commissary, we'd have seen all the other shows going on, working. But no, we were out there all alone in space. And it was really, it kind of gave you a feeling of, we were on a space station. I mean, it was just us every day. And so those pranks you want to know about, they were probably, just cutting up or tired or something and just trying to remember some of those lines were great. Some of the camera setups that were a little elaborate, and I'll never forget I did 47 takes. It's the only time in my career, and when you know it would be on Babylon 5. When we had this, there was a news crew aboard the station. See, you know the damn thing better than I do. You tell me the story then, okay? The camera, I was supposed to be on the command and control set, you know, and Claudia and I were supposed to do lines, and this camera is supposed to be floating around. It doesn't really exist. So it's, well, it did. They had this little thing on a stick going around. They're supposed to, and I'm supposed to, of course, Sheridan was always grumpy, and so he was always get that thing out of my face and things like that. Anyway, it came around to something about a freighter pulling in and some warship of some sort, and I just, for some reason, that day I just could not concentrate, and I would start this speech, and I knew this line was coming. I could see it in my mind's eye. Here it comes, and I'm talking, and Claudia's looking at me. She's waiting and waiting, and you know, like delete happens, you know? It went, and we'd have to start the whole thing over again. And this camera setup was so elaborate. So by take 4 or 5, people are going, we're really tired of doing this, you know? Now imagine going to take 47. Claudia, who, what a pro. Every time she was right there. And wouldn't you know it, the one time that I finally get the entire speech out, she's been pulling for me so long going that she forgot her entire speech. Which means we had to go back to the beginning, and then I had to try to do that one again, and I'm going, oh God. You know, so that's the kind of fun we had. That wasn't fun at the time. I actually had to go out and walk around the parking lot for a while. Everybody go get some coffee, sit down, take a break, let me go yell at myself outside, and try to pull it together, and I did. But that was the only time I ever had problems on that show. And, yes?
There was a gag reel with a plane going over here. Did you have many planes going over?
Oh yeah, because San Fernando Valley has, what, 4 airports in it. So, and like we were in this factory, there was very little like soundproofing or anything like that. I do remember first getting on, oh, here's one of the pranks. Let me get a prank. Well, it wasn't really a prank, but it was kind of a joke played on me. You know the Star Fury capsule, where, you know, the thing that we would be in physically. There's the animated one, and then there's the one we were in. And it's a huge thing, you know. And we're in these suits, and they were very tight and confining, and oftentimes the mask would They had a little whirring fan going on in there that sometimes wouldn't work properly and it would just fog up. Anyway, 1994 we had the Northridge earthquake. You're no strangers to earthquake here in New Zealand. So we had a really bad one, and we had aftershocks for months and months and months. And I'm finally on this show, and I'm doing one of my first Star Fury scenes. I'm in a 5-point harness. I'm in this capsule that's kind of leaning up. I've got the film crew, everybody standing there, and suddenly there's this little bit of a... and everyone runs away and leaves me in the capsule. I can't get out because it takes 2 people to get me in and out of the damn thing. Me and 2 other people. You know, getting all the... I can't reach around and get all the things. And anyway, I'm going, hello? Hello? What about me? Hello? They all ran out because they were joking. There was no earthquake. Somebody said, aftershock, aftershock. Oh my God, everybody ran out of the thing, out the door, and they're all laughing because they left me in the capsule, and I was with urine running down my leg. It was fine. No, not really. But, so it's those kind of things. Let's see if we can trip up the captain. That was kind of the, and I made them all pay later, don't worry. Yes, sir.
What's your, one of your favourite episodes to Civic Dreams? Because one of the episodes I've watched the most of Civic Dreams where it's everyone fighting pests and demons and the force tries to take it back. It's like one of the pivotal episodes in the whole series.
There were a few of those pivotal episodes. My favorite whole arc was the Shadow War. That was, I thought that's where Sheridan really had a lot to do. I mean, it was pretty intense. Yeah, you know, people ask me, what's your favorite episode? I can't really. There were so many, I can't just name them. You probably know the episodes better than I do now. It was how many years ago? But what was that? The one you're talking? We declare secession from Earth. Yeah, yeah, that was really exciting stuff. I think Joe borrowed a lot from history, whether it was world history or U.S. history or what have you, for those things. And it was sort of like fighting the Civil War all over again. Which side we were on, you know. But what the hell just blew up over there? No. Oh, it's fire. Okay. Jesus. Yes, ma'am. Yes. When the first moon landing happened, I was in Peoria, Illinois with my girlfriend. It was my first year of drama school, and we were on a break. And I had gone home to meet her parents. And we ran outside. It was so exciting. Ran outside and looked up at the moon. To imagine someone was standing on it was the most amazing thing. And I think my own personal interest in space travel and outer space period started around that time. I've since known 2 of the moonwalkers. I know Buzz Aldrin and I know Pete Conrad. Pete's no longer with us. But that's a thrilling thing too, to sit with someone who has actually been there. And one night having cocktails at a mutual friend's backyard party, the most gorgeous harvest moon came up over the Verdugo Hills in the San Fernando Valley. And we were all sitting there, and Pete, he was the next crew after Apollo 11. They were the next one to land. And he pointed, with, you know, just out where they were. It was so clear that night. It was picture perfect. And to sit there and have someone actually tell you, that's how I was right over there, and this is where we landed, and how far from the Viking lander, which was one of the first probes that had landed on the moon. They landed about 100 and some feet away from it. It was a pinpoint landing. And then Buzz Aldrin, who is still an eternal optimist and a futurist. He's the most amazing, Dr. Aldrin. He really is. And you'll hear that story about how, you know, there's more in this iPhone than they had in the entire Apollo capsule and everything. I mean, you know, it's quite amazing. So those guys are incredible pioneers, and I dismiss every one of those bullshit theories that we didn't go into outer space. Ask one of those guys once. I'll tell you. Yes, sir. Oh yeah.
Now that was a more mainstream role before you went into Tron, or I don't know the exact timeline.
Actually, it was after Tron,
Okay, then you
before Babylon. Yeah.
And then you come back to Tron in more recent times. With the likes of the interest in history or present like Conan series, was there that kind of role in the future?
Have you got a job for me? Thought maybe you were a producer, I don't know. Yeah, I sure love a job right now. Yeah, I'm open to anything. I mean, that's what an actor does. I mean, I have my preferences. Not really, I want a good role. I mean, that's what attracts me first. It doesn't matter if it's in a genre. You know, I played the president a few times. I played senators, generally around this age. You start playing men of dignity, or not, you know, or villains, you know. So it's you know, I'm open to anything right now. In fact, I was just talking, it's strange, just before coming down here, I have talked to Kate Jackson probably twice in 25 years. Since we parted on the set, I have not seen her physically in that amount of time. And she was talking about she got going off on what if we did Scarecrow and Mrs. King again. And she had this whole scenario going on, and I'm going, wow, this is pretty amazing. I just don't want to live my entire career over again. I'm only doing Tron because it's ongoing, you know, but I don't want to do Babylon 5 again. I don't want to do Scarecrow and Mrs. King. I want to do something else, you know. I would love to do something like Homeland. Any of those type of thrillers. I like thrillers a great deal. But to repeat my career again, I mean, people are asking, well, are there going to be another Babylon 5? I think maybe if it was a decade ago, there might have been a chance for something more, but we tried. Lost Tales on a DVD. It was going to go straight to DVD. That's how we had got. And I thought it was a noble try. And, you know, Joe and I, it was terrific. He directed it. We were shot it in Vancouver. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe this is the way to go. Do it in this kind of straight to DVD thing, and then it would be a Blu-ray set, and The Lost Tales, because I think these were some of the stories he didn't get to tell in the initial show, and he could have done them this way. And I loved, you know, playing President Sheridan at that time, but it didn't happen. They just wanted to stick to that low budget, and I know Joe wanted to have a larger budget. He felt it was necessary. To tell you the truth, that the Star Fury cockpit, they found that thrown out in the trash out in Warner Brothers. They found 2 of them. They had been buried under a big garbage heap of scrap. That's what happens. See, it goes off. Out. Something new is always going to replace it, you know. So then they fixed them all up and sent them out to Canada.